Aloha and many greetings from Sydney. My name is Annie. I'm traveling Australia for around about 5 months already, and at the moment I'm staying in Sydney, and yesterday was Valentine's Day, so I was collecting a couple of ideas what you can do for your Valentine's Day. And yeah, today I want to present you my top 10 best dating ideas here in Sydney, and we are jumping into the first idea straight. And recently, when I just arrived here in Sydney, I booked a sunrise kayak trip for myself, and there was an Irish couple with me, and in this moment I was thinking, yeah, that's definitely a perfect date idea. So we started at 7 in the morning, and our guide Shannon, he was giving us a lot of interesting information during the kayak trip, and I was in the kayak with him, and the Irish couple had their own kayak. And yeah, we met up at the Australian National Maritime Museum. We're ready to go. So we're in front of the Opera House now, and we have the perfect view on the Opera and the Harbour Bridge. Actually, we have to watch out for the ferries a little bit, but it's already like the perfect morning and we have the best weather so far. I already said starts at 7. You don't have to wake up that early, which is pretty good. I will link all the prices in the description below, and you can also find the booking link there, so definitely check this out. During the tour you also kayak under the Harbour Bridge, which is so cool. If you're lucky and you have a nice sunrise at that morning, you also have a beautiful light and scenery, and I would say it's definitely worth it. There's also a little breakfast included with croissants, fresh brewed coffee, and some strawberries and blueberries and some muffins, and I really enjoyed this morning. And it's actually like a more chilled experience, but you still do some morning sport and have a breakfast included. And afterwards you can also have a look at the National Maritime Museum, which was quite interesting, to be honest. They also have a James Cameron exhibition, a lot of information about sea life and so on. So I really enjoyed this morning, starting my day with the perfect kayak sunrise trip, and then I went to the museum. So that's definitely a perfect date idea, and I really loved it. I would also love to do it again, and I can definitely recommend Shannon. He's doing this trip for 19 years already, and he was such a friendly and chilled person, and he gives you a lot of information and history about Sydney as well.
Hi there, I'm Shannon from Sydney Harbour Kayaks, and I've been running these tours for the last 19 years here on Sydney Harbour. We've got a couple of locations here at Darling Harbour and across the other side of the harbour at Middle Harbour. Fantastic sea kayaking adventures. Come and join us.
So I can definitely recommend this tour, and it's also, I think, like one of my favorites out of these ideas, which I'm going to talk about now. I think this tour runs usually every day, so if you are in Sydney, you should definitely book in advance and don't miss out on this opportunity to see Sydney from a different angle. I was talking about the National Maritime Museum, so there are also other museums which are also for free, for example the Australian Museum or the Sydney Art Gallery. And if you are like a really creative person, the next idea would be also something for you. So I booked a zip and paint event with champagne recently, and it's also the perfect date idea, I would say. So I went there solo, but I met a lovely Australian lady and we had a really nice chat. But all the other people in the room were couples. So you go there with snacks and, for example, your own wine bottle or whatever you want to drink, and you can see on their website which picture is going to be made in this evening. So when I went there, we painted the sea with some palm trees in the background, and I really liked it. And also the woman who was doing the class, she was so funny, and yeah, it was a really great evening. It's around 60 Australian dollars for the 2-hour course, and you can go there as a complete beginner. Like, I didn't really draw for the past years, so I would say I'm a bloody beginner when it comes to drawing with acrylic paint. But I really loved it, and it was so much fun. And the Australian girl who was sitting next to me, she was also going there a couple of times before, also on her own, but I would say it's like the perfect date idea. Sometimes you can also book in for a class to draw your partner, so that's also like such a funny event. I would really love to do it, and I'm also thinking about like booking this event again. I will also put the link in the description box below. I did it with Champainting, but I guess there are also many other people who offer courses like this. I also saw many others here in Sydney, for example like Picasso and Pinot or something. So if you want to draw something else, feel free to check out all the other websites who offer sip and paints in Sydney. The next idea is also in the Botanical Garden in Sydney, and at the moment they have a big open air cinema there with like the view on the Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera in the background, and it's called the Westpac Open Air Cinema, and I'm booked in for the movie Baby Girl in the next 2 days, so I'm pretty excited. And it usually runs and starts when the sun is setting, so you have a beautiful sunset in the background. You can also book different packages with drinks and dinner included, but I just booked the standard package and I think I will probably get something to drink there. But yeah, I'm really keen to go there, and you should definitely check out their website. They also have many other open air kinos in Sydney, for example in the Rocks or in the Barangaroo district, but I would love to go to the Westpac Cinema because it looks so special. The big screen on the water, and yeah, I will definitely take you with me when I go there, and I'm already so excited. And I would say, like, even if I go there on my own, it would be the perfect date idea. So you should definitely consider going there with your date. The fourth date idea is also for free, so if you missed out the famous firework during the New Year's Eve in Sydney, you can also go every Saturday at 9 in the evening to Darling Harbour, and there's a free firework which is also really beautiful and it's for free, so you can also combine it with one of the other date ideas I just gave you. And when I walked there, it was really nice, and we watched it with some friends, and it lasts for around about 10 minutes, so it's also really special. If you are a big fan of wine, I can also recommend going to Hunter Valley, which is like one of the wine regions around Sydney. And if that's too expensive for you or you can't make it there, I can also recommend just buying a nice bottle of wine from one of the bottle stores here in Sydney. Of course, you have to hide it in a bag or something, but you can also get a takeaway pizza and just chill on one of the 100 beaches around Sydney with the bottle of wine and a pizza. You can also combine this if you have a rental camper van and if you're going up or down the coast from Sydney. And I would say it's also a perfect date idea to share some pizza and wine during a sunset at the beach. You can also dip into the ocean before or afterwards, and I would say that's definitely a dream date. And the beaches here in Sydney are so beautiful, and also the sunset is always stunning. This would definitely be a very nice date. If you are more an active person, or if you are into hiking and bouldering, you should definitely consider driving to the Blue Mountains. You can just take a train to the Blue Mountains, which is like a 2-hour drive, or you can also go by car, which is like 40-minute drive. And I really enjoyed the Blue Mountains, even though my camper van broke down there. But there are so many nice hikes and also waterfall hikes where you can swim. For example, you can go to the secret fairy pools or hike to the Minnehaha Falls, and there's also a jumping platform where you can jump in. Or you can go to the very famous Wentworth Falls. And if you are staying at the YHA hostel, you can just walk down to the Three Sisters. There are also so many nice cafes and restaurants around. I can definitely recommend the Auntie Ed's restaurant, which is like a time travel back into the 70s. And they also have really nice burgers and bowls there. And you can definitely go to the Black Cockadoo Cafe. They have the best coffee in town and also very nice pastries. So I would say this is the perfect weekend trip to go to the Blue Mountains. And you can also see this as a date if you're going with your favorite person. If you are a little bit more extreme, you can also book a canoeing or abseiling tour, which is like around about 200 Australian dollars. I know it's a bit pricey, but I think it's also like a very nice experience. You can book it with a YHA hostel, and the trip lasts for the whole day. And it's a bit extreme, so sometimes you upsail like 30 meters into the deep, and you also have like 10-meter jumps. Fortunately, I didn't do it because I was so worried with my car back then, so I couldn't really afford it at that time. But if I would go back, I would definitely do it. If you are more the fancy person and if you want a chilled dinner, you can also book a dinner or a brunch in the Tower Eye in Sydney. And yeah, you have a 360 view over Sydney because the platform is turning every 5 to 10 minutes, and you have several package options if you book online with them. For example, like the couple which is also staying in the Airbnb here right now, they recommended this to me and they had a champagne brunch, and this sounds so amazing. Honestly, I would recommend something to you. You should go there when you're really hungry, because you only have like 1.5 hours time to eat everything up and to drink. So yeah, definitely go there when you're super hungry. But I would say it's the perfect date idea, especially if you are booking a dinner during sunset. And yeah, that's what I will do in the next 2 weeks, because I really want to have the view. If you want a little bit more action, you can also book a skywalk, which is a little bit more pricey, but then you can also like go around the platform. Of course, you're attached to a rope for safety reasons, but I think it's also such a nice experience. And yeah, I will also put the link in the description box below. I would say the next date idea is also definitely a must if you are in Sydney, and I'm talking about watching a show in the famous Opera House. I was recently looking for some tickets, and they also have comedy shows, but also like theater shows, singing shows, and there's also a concert upcoming with Mumford & Sons. Unfortunately, I will be on a road trip at the Great Ocean Road by then, but I would love to go there. Maybe I will book an interactive show of Dungeons and Dragons with a friend from the dance company. His friends recommended this show, and unfortunately I'm not really into Dungeons and Dragons. Like I never really heard about that before, but on the other hand it also sounds really cool, so maybe I will go there with him, and I will definitely take you with me and yeah, talk about my experiences. If you've ever watched a show in the Opera House, please let me know how you liked it. So yeah, there are like high pricey shows, but also I would say cheap shows. I think it's affordable, and yeah, I think it's also like a once in a lifetime experience to watch a show in the famous Opera House. I also watched the opera from below. I also saw the opera like from above when I did like the bridge climb, but now I really want to have a look inside and see one of the shows. So that's definitely on my bucket list, and I think it's also a great date idea to combine watching the show and having a fancy drink afterwards, or having like the dinner in the Tower Eye. So I ended up booking the comedy with my friend from the dance company instead of the Dungeons and Dragons show, but maybe I will watch that next time because the advertisement looked so amazing in the Opera House. Before the show I was hanging out a little bit outside where there was a little party going on, and some people had drinks there, and there was also a live band playing, and I was really enjoying everything. I also had a drink before, and the vibes were just amazing. My ticket for the Opera House was around 60 Australian dollars, which is alright for the show I saw, and I was so happy. I think you can also see it here, and I also drank an Aperol before, and I honestly had the best evening. That's definitely for the people who like it a little bit more fancy. And for the people who love water sports and action, I would definitely recommend going surfing in Sydney together. And I would love to have a surf date as well. So I'm really into water sports. Also yesterday on Valentine's Day, I booked a scuba dive for myself here in Manly, and it was such a cool experience. And yeah, you can easily rent surfboards in Bondi or Manly Beach or wherever and go for a surf together. And I mean, afterwards you can still have a fancy dinner or go to one of the surf shops here. There are so many nice surfer restaurants with burgers or pizzas, and yeah, I would say it's definitely a good date idea as well if you're into action sports. And if you like to have a little bit more adrenaline, I can also recommend going to the Luna Park, and at the moment they also have a Squid Game exhibition, so you can join one of the games, and also have many roller coasters and other attractions. I haven't been there yet, but I really want to go. So if you want to go there, I will also put the link with all the prices in the description box below. And I only watched the first season of the show, but maybe I should also watch the second season. Unfortunately, I can't really sleep afterwards because it's a little bit scary as well. So yeah, maybe I have to watch the second season soon with someone and then also go to the Luna Park. To be honest, I have more than 10 date ideas. So here's the 11th one. If you like hiking as well, you can also do the Bondi to Koji walk, and you can also jump into the famous Bondi iceberg pools. The entrance fee is around about 8 to 10 Australian dollars, I think, or a little bit more expensive, but it's definitely worth it, and the view is so cool. I really love the Bondi iceberg pools, and also the Bondi beach is so nice. And you also have many nice restaurants and cafes around, so you can just grab an iced coffee and walk from Bondi to Koji. There are also many nice photo locations. The last idea is to go to the fish market here in Sydney, and you can also buy your own fish and prepare it at home, but you can also try some of the fish on the fish market and eat some dishes there. And I would really love to go, so I will definitely do this after I do the Great Ocean Road. And if you are not into fish, you can also walk on the nice markets at the Rocks, which is on Saturdays and Sundays, and you have many food stands there, international food stands with Turkish food, Chinese food, and also Spanish food. You can also have a cocktail there or Prosecco, or sometimes they have craft beer stands. But it's really great if you want to shop around a bit and spend your Saturday or Sunday there. So now I would be interested which date idea you like the best, and if you have more date ideas, feel free to drop a comment below. I am still here for some weeks and I didn't really experience everything here in Sydney. I'm also open for more ideas what to do in Sydney. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, it would be so nice if you would leave a follow here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!